Hey guys, welcome to the Health or High Water podcast, our fourth video podcast. Thank you guys for being so patient waiting for season 4 to drop. We're really excited. We got a few episodes for you guys. I've got a very special guest here, Garrett Nichols of Carolina Muscle Co., right here based out of Charlotte, North Carolina. I can't wait to get in and talk to him about some supplements. That's a background I can't wait to get into a little bit here. I want to give a huge shout out to the gym Garrett and I go to, Better Built Fitness. It's a great facility, great community of people. There is no paid sponsorship here. This is just a huge shout out to a great locally owned, family owned gym. Garrett, how you doing today, man?
Hey, doing good, man. Doing good. Coming down off that workout, Just there's this guy in the gym that I'm chasing. I'm trying to keep up with, man. His name's Tripp. Man,
We got such a good gym culture at that gym, man. I love it. We all like hang out, talk some crap to each other, get a good lift in. We're always trying to help each. It's just such a great community. It's where I met you, man. So how long have you been in the gym and been working out?
so oops, I bumped my table. I've always been, kind of fitnessy, so to say. I guess you could take it all the way back high school sports, and then join the Marine Corps straight out of high school. So physical fitness was always, in the Marine Corps, you had to be pass the test, otherwise you get in trouble, type of thing. So, physical fitness has always been, a higher priority. It wasn't until January of 24, after the new year, where it kind of hit a point where I just didn't like what I saw in the mirror, and just struggling daily with tasks that I shouldn't be struggling with, it just, reached that point. And January of 2024 is when I really locked in and, hit it real hard. Complete life changes, from the diet, cutting out processed foods, sugars, diving into the books, into the research and the videos, quit drinking alcohol. I think that was a big thing, especially after the military. A little different out here. So, maybe turned to alcohol a little bit. And I finally realized, yep, we got to change up. So complete 180. And now I'm just at a point where I'm down that rabbit hole. I love every aspect of it. I love learning new things, doing new things, talking to people, like you said, the gym atmosphere. It's like one of those things, you wake up in the morning and I'm excited to go to the gym.
Yeah.
I'm sweet. I get to not only go lift some weights, but I get to see some dudes I know and I like to talk to. So, that's kind of got me to the point of where I'm at as far as that goes.
Well, I really like what you talk about because I've had a few people in the military, and again, thank you for your service, man.
Yeah,
Of
thank you.
course, dude. You got to give credit where credit's due, and people don't talk enough about that transition out of such a regimented environment. You don't have to choose what you have to wear. Your meals are already taken care of for you, and there is such a correlation with I believe with a lot of military folks getting into things like bodybuilding, powerlifting because of that regiment. Hey,
Hmm.
this reminds me of the military. You know,
Discipline. Yep.
so for you, is that kind of like a natural transition, just because you've already had this fitness background of being athletic? Already in the military. So was this regiment a little bit easier for you to get a hold of because you've already done it so much?
Well, yeah, I guess, yeah, you could say that. I've got, not so much an addictive personality, but whenever I find something that I really thoroughly enjoy, it's just I go all in with it. I mean, besides the gym and stuff like that, my other, one of my big passions is fishing.
Yeah, dude.
Love fishing. Grew up fishing. I've done all sorts, freshwater, saltwater, and that's just something I went all in with too. But I think with the the dress right, dress military, mindset, I think that definitely did help with the discipline and the motivation, being locked in like I am on this, on my fitness journey. So yeah, I definitely think it's definitely a positive mindset that I've got when it comes to this.
Well, that I even call it just like hyperfixation. You know what I mean? Like in a good way, of like,
You're right,
hey,
right.
listen, like I really like this. I'm going absolutely all in whatever
Yep.
that is. And I'm in the same boat. I recently quit drinking because I was just drinking too much and replacing it for
Hmm.
happiness, and you can't find
Yeah.
happiness in the bottom of a bottle. So
Nope. Nope.
I flipped hyperfixated again on working out, just like you, man. It's been a journey this past year. I think COVID messed a lot of us up. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
I mean, it was hard to get back on back on track with everything. But this
Yep.
hyperfixation you find a lot in entrepreneurs. You know what I mean? People just like yourself that are, hey,
Yeah.
listen, you saw a huge gap here in the Charlotte area that there's no supplement stores, right?
Hmm.
Hyperfixation on finding
Exactly.
the right products for this area. If you guys, I went into Garrett's shop last week, and I'm going to quote myself. I wanted to find something that was the pre-workout that was going to rip my face off. But you have high quality stuff in your shop, and hyperfixation on
Yeah.
these things is important to make sure that you're getting high quality products to these people. So I see
Yep.
I see it as
Yep.
such as an advantage as being an entrepreneur is being able to hyperfixate on these things and focus on quality and networking and relationships. And you're doing a fantastic job at that, man. I got to give credit where credit's due. I did give a little bit of background. What got you into starting a supplement store here? What was the background for that?
So that, I mean, started. We just recently officially moved down here to Charlotte area. We've had a place down here, been vacationing, visiting, as often as we can for about 2 years now. So, I mean, it's safe to say we've been down here at least once a week for the past 2 years before we actually had a house built. But what got me into that was back, Fayetteville area where we lived before we moved. The supplement store I was going to there, real good supplement store, owned and ran by real good people. They're both bodybuilders themselves. Taught me a lot. You know, Granted, you know a little bit about supplements, but you don't know the entire. You know, you may know what protein is, but you're not going to flip the jug around and be able to, decipher every ingredient. You're like, okay, okay, okay. That's the type of things they taught me. Look into the label, look into the actual supplement, and see what it is, rather than just knowing it's a high stem pre workout. Well, why is it high stem? That type of thing. So learned learned a lot from them, and then also just dove so far into the meta threshold, and the beyond, and research, watch videos, all these bodybuilders out there, Mike Mincer, all his
Yeah.
stuff. I've watched a lot of his stuff, and just learned so much. Granted, I will never say I know everything by any means. It's just like, some of my labels in here. I don't really like to memorize the ingredients because I don't want to get complacent. I think, if you get comfortable, you're going to get complacent. Things will change and you're not going to be able to keep up. Anyways, so learning what I did, knowing what I know, I felt like I reached a point where I could help people. I felt like I knew the basics, so to say, and a little beyond, to be able to guide people and, teach them a little bit, show them, they come into the store, greet them. Hey, how you doing? Name's Garrett, blah, blah, blah. What made you stop in today? Awesome. What are your goals? What do you want to do? Just building that personal relationship with the individual and gaining their trust in what you're telling and what you're selling them, and understanding why you're selling it to them. So I think that's what, kind of led me into the supplements is Charlotte needed
Yeah.
one. I mean, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gyms right around us here. I mean, and no real good, supplement store. I mean, there's a GNC, I'm not that person badmouth or knock anybody, but I feel like I'm above, a little better, higher tiered stuff, in customer service and in products in general. So that's why all my stuff, I don't have 20 different brands in here. I've got, 5, 6 brands, and they're all top shelf stuff. They're stuff you don't find at Walmart. You can't order off of Amazon. You got to get them from a supplement store. And they are, proven stuff used by the professionals in all fitness industries across the globe. So,
Well,
that
we,
that pretty much is what.
well, but that's, and I think that's a problem too, right? Is, and I'm going to badmouth GNC real quick. Is
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead because I've had so many times where I've walked in, and I always try to be like as gracious as I can for those people working there. Like they don't know that, I've had my own supplement store and all this kind of stuff. Like, they might be a learning experience for them. I don't, but every
Exactly.
time I ask those questions, like, so what about the bioavailability of whey versus like plant protein? Like, what's those kind of things? And a lot of them don't have that knowledge at all, right? So I feel a lot of people that go into the supplement world, and I'm talking to our audience right now, going out to places like GNC, Vitamin World, and they're getting pulled in the wrong direction, right? Maybe it's not what they're like. You said, like, hey, I got to find out exactly what your goals are and make sure that I'm qualifying these supplements for you instead of just recommending something that works for me.
Mhm.
So, with these like chains, you're not getting the right amount of information. And that's a huge issue for me is because we all know that supplements are very murky waters for some people. I myself am a supplement junkie. I think everyone should have a one pantry full of supplements.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
At
Yeah.
least one just
Yep.
dedicated to supplements. So I really appreciate this opportunity and offering that you have for the Schlote area because it's something that's very, very much needed. So what I want to ask this, what are three supplements out of your store that you can't live without?
Three that I can't live without. I would say I've deemed them or tokened to them, the foundation stack, so to
Okay.
say. I mean, I'm going to go, protein, creatine mono, and BCAs. I mean, I think those are the three staple or three pillars, for me.
Well, that's what everyone,
Of course, pre-workout. You can't go wrong with pre-workout too.
especially ones that rip your face off. And we're all learning. I don't know if you read some of the studies about, massive dose of creatine helping with cognition issues.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I don't think anyone, especially vegans, are getting enough creatine at all.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, yeah, you're getting. I mean, what we're getting a little tiny dose in, our red meats, but I mean, ultimately, I mean, that's just like with BCAs. You come in, talk to people. Yes, some of these in this mixture, you try to not get too crazy and technical so they'd understand it. BCAs, your body does produce, this amount, and then you get these added in, as your EAAs. But they don't understand. Well, my body produces it. Why do I need it? Because probably over 90% of people are deficient when it comes to these amino acids. So, they just don't fully understand. But again, that's why I try to do what I do. Try to tell them about it. Try to help them.
Well, and like even to go further on that too, it's a lot of people like, well, I should be getting all this from my food sources. It's like, well, hey, listen up, Buttercup. Our food sources suck, right? There's a reason we have supplements, and the reason a lot of professionals use supplements because they're not getting enough from food because we don't have enough in it,
Mm-hmm.
right? Are you pretty big on vitamin D?
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when there's a need. I'm just going through too, like when people get blood work done. Example, like I'm doing genetic tests and blood work. I'm seeing a lot of like
Right.
vitamin D deficiency, a lot of vitamin A deficiency, tons of vitamin C, mostly with like Europeans. But is there like a health stack for maybe like seniors or something like that you recommend? Maybe vitamin D, vitamin A that you have at the store?
Well, I mean, that's the other thing here too that I've, kind of. I mean, it's not what's the word I'm looking for. It's not like a barrier, I guess, but the demographic, it's different down here for sure. Coming from Fayetteville, where I came from, military town, a lot of young Army guys and men and women. So down here, being older demographic, but still all these older individuals, they want to stay healthy. The gyms are packed full of them. So that's something else I've kind of been trying to do. Older individuals that have came in that I've talked to, they're even though I've got these things that would help them in their daily lives, the multivitamins, the ashwagandha, turmeric, curcumin, prostate support, the wellness stuff. They, going back to where you kind of mentioned a bit ago that supplements kind of a taboo type of thing. They're, well, if my PCM or my urologist doesn't recommend it, then I don't, I'm not going to do it. And I fully understand. I'm not a doctor. I'm not trying to prescribe you nothing. I'm just trying to help you with what you're telling me. So, I mean, yeah, we've got, a nice little line of wellness stuff, fish oil, cod oil. I'm a huge believer and supporter in like fish oil, krill oil, cod liver, tuna oil, that type of thing, your omegas and, DHA and all that. But, yeah, I mean, as far as that wellness, part goes, we've got that selection for that audience as well.
Well, it's just so important, right? As we age, muscle mass goes down, cognition goes down, mobility goes down, and you need those building blocks to try to fight for what you got left.
Yeah.
And like you said, there is like a taboo, but that's why this podcast is hosted on babyboomers.org, because we want to make sure that we're trying to educate seniors, well, everyone really, but especially seniors, and like, hey, what's safe is like, well, make sure if you're getting your blood work done and everything looks good, then great. But if you got a vitamin D deficiency, you got vitamin A deficiency, they have to be addressed.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. And I mean, I think that's the blood panel. That's ultimately what you got to go by. I mean, you can go by, what your doctor just tells you. You can go by what or how you feel, your body feels. I mean, that's your first indicator right there. You know how your body is normally functioning. If something feels off, something feels off. But ultimately, yeah, I mean, you got to go by your bloods, your lipid panel.
It's getting so quantitative, and that's in a good way. It's like we can really dial stuff in at this point, and I
Yeah.
really, that's why
Yeah.
your industry is really going to blossom over the next like 4 or 5 years, is because people can really hone in either genetically or through blood work. This is what I need.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like you take your car to get an oil change, you get that 27-point inspection. Comes back, you need this, you need this, you need this. Okay, well, let's top it off. Let's get it going again.
100%, and that's what I want some of the listeners to realize too, is like health is going to get easier. It's
Yeah.
going to get way easier as things evolve, and
Yeah.
especially like people like you educating on the right methodology of supplementation. We're going to be able to build a stronger community here, because as you know, Charlotte and this area, this Cape Fear area, doesn't have the healthiest habits. The restaurants aren't healthy at all. There's a lot of fried food. It's
Yep.
hard to get a healthy meal down here. And for other bucolic locations, I highly recommend people move into those places that have health and wellness backgrounds to help the community, because there's a huge need.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's just like you and me, staying in Calabash. What's Calabash known for? Fried seafood.
Oh yeah, and extra butter.
Fried seafood, extra butter. Yep.
It's so true, man. I went to a place down here. I don't want to like trash them because I like the place, but I got
Yeah.
steamed veggies, and I poured it onto a plate because I had to microwave it, and it was like yellow. I was like, "Is there butter on steamed veggies?" Just
Oh, yep.
blew my mind,
Yep.
man. But
Yep. Half these restaurants you go to, you order a sweet tea, you can use it as a pre-workout.
it comes with an insulin shot.
Yeah. Yep.
So
Yep.
you're gonna compete here pretty soon, bodybuilding wise. You got a great physique, my dude. Great physique.
I appreciate it, man.
So what is your
Right back
thank
at
you.
you. You too,
Thanks,
man.
dude.
Yeah.
So what is your you have a supplement store, got a wife at home, you got a house. What does your schedule look like? Regiment's important to people like us. What's your morning routine like?
So morning, I mean, pretty much daily routine, which is crazy because I've got such a inline routine. I'm struggling to hit that second passion I told you about, fishing. That's kind of got pushed back to the back burner a little bit. At this point, the boat's starting to look like a lawn ornament. So, but get up. The shop here, we're open Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 10 a.m., 6 p.m. Saturday, 10 a.m., 2 p.m. Closed Wednesday currently. That more than likely going to change. As business grows. But I did 10 a.m. I mean, so I can get my lift in the mornings. So I'm up at 5:30, 5:30 every morning, getting the gym bag together, getting the change of clothes together, getting the pre-workout and then the post-workout protein and greens, which I think it's happened twice now, where I'm not fully awake and I'll go to make my 2 drinks, right? So I'll put, my protein, my mass gainer, and my one shaker. And then being the dummy I am, I'm doing the other pre-workout shaker at the same time. So there's been a couple times where I put 1 scoop of pre-workout in with my protein on accident, or vice versa. So I've had some interesting flavors before, to say the least. But yeah, I mean, I'm out the house by 6:45, 7 at the latest, and then head up to the gym. Get a good workout in for an hour and a half. 2 hours, just depends on how I'm feeling. Shower there at the gym, then head up here to the shop and help everybody.
I love it, man. I love it. So I know this is still pretty new. I mean, it still smells like fresh paint in there. It smells. I love it. I could sit in there and all day, man.
Yeah, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears went into this paint. Let me tell you.
You could tell, man. You've done a great work with the shop, and I suggest everybody in this area to go down and definitely see Garrett in the shop and support some local business here, man. But what's your dream of your supplement store? Is it adding more supplement stores? Is it growing the one you have? What's a 5-year goal? And again, like, be grandiose if you want to. It's just dreaming.
I would say 5-year goal. I would love to be able to expand. Open another shop or two. That would be phenomenal. I don't really care to have a huge store with hundreds and hundreds of different supplements. I'd rather have a small store like what I've got with all the, I don't want to say basics, but all that you need. A store down north, South Myrtle, something like that. Maybe something up north a little bit, towards Leland, Wilmington. I don't know. Maybe even some, inland a little bit, back towards Whiteville. Yeah. I know there's a good gym over there in Whiteville, Gym Shapers, I think it's called. But yeah, I mean, ultimately that would be my goal, is just to have a couple different storefronts here and there, enough to where I'm making a difference, and I'm able to do what I love. I mean, that's what it comes down to.
I love that, man. That's so important. Is that need and and again, going back to hyperfixation in a good way on trying to be a support. I'm not. What's the right word? A pivotal point in the community, right? Like, hey, listen, like this is Garrett's a supplement guy around here. Like, he knows everything top to bottom. Go see him, and we don't have that.
Mm-hmm. That's all I want to be. That's I've told everybody. The different gyms around here. I've gone and I've got a membership in I think every gym. Talk to everybody in the gym that I can. Just doing that marketing thing. But I mean, that's the thing. I just want to be everybody's go-to, and that's what I've told the gym owners. I'm not in competition with you. I just want to. I'm here to support you. Let's support each other. We're only going to help each other grow. That's it. I mean, I want to see everybody succeed. That's what it comes down to. Business-wise, personal-wise, I want everyone to succeed in life and whatever they're doing. And as far as fitness goes, I just want to help them get to. I don't even have to help them get to that end point. Just get some people started. I think that's the biggest thing. I've got a lot of people that message me since I've made my transformation, but I tell them the hardest part is just starting. That's the hardest part. Walking in and just starting. Once you stick with it and you start seeing results, it's your hook, line, sinker. It's got you.
So really final question here for the day. Just kind of a blanket term or blanket for tons of different demographics of young people and like especially seniors. That's one of our harder demographics for the podcast. Is, let's say they're curious about supplementation and they're on the edge of, hey, listen, like I got some questions about supplementation. I'd like to get into it. I want to take the best care of myself. How can they find you? What kind of advice could you give them as well?
I mean, I would just say, for the younger guys, the younger generation is a lot different than, you and I, whenever we were the younger generation. They got all this. I mean, we had I think the biggest thing we had was MySpace, back when I was growing up. I mean, there was no Facebook. There wasn't, the fitness influencers like that are out there today. I mean, so I think, for the younger crowd, yeah, watch some of the fitness influencers, learn some exercises, learn some new stuff. I mean, I do, some stuff is a little crazy, but some stuff is effective. And if it works for you, it works for you. But as far as supplementation goes, I think that comes down to finding somebody who actually knows it, not just a gym bro that is, taking something that, he got randomly from a guy that said, this will make you big. I think education and finding someone trustworthy who looks like they know what they're talking about, for sure, is the way to go for the younger kids. Just stick with it. The younger generation, stick with it. Start it, stick with it. I mean, your prime, in your stage of life, late teens, early 20s, your body's still developing. Take advantage of it. Then as far as the older generation goes, same thing. They just need to find a trusted individual. I'm not saying their doctors or their urologist isn't a trusted individual, but I think in order to get certain things as far as supplementation goes, they just need to be more open-minded. Listen. Maybe do some research, and absolutely, if you come in here and I tell you something and you want a second opinion, ask your doctor, 100%. See what they think. I'm not trying to steer you wrong, but if it makes you comfortable to talk with him, absolutely. So that's what it comes down to ultimately. Just someone who knows and has the knowledge.
Well, I've been so into this talk, I forgot to do our commercial. Really quick shout out to our company. We're with Gene Planet, our genetic testing company. What's really great about Gene Planet is we do whole genome sequencing, which means, let's say the Mayo Clinic finds out your propensity to build fast twitch muscle, slow twitch muscle, even injury risk and prevention. We're able to update your test right away with this whole genome sequencing and get your body even better than before. We all know about 4% of the whole human genome. With what we can do with that is incredible. But it's great with this company that we're continually to educate and learn more about the human body, with how genetics affect us physically, emotionally, and spiritually. So if you guys are interested, go to geneplanet.com and use code APT for 30% off your test. That's code APT for 30% off your test. So go to geneplanet.com and get your DNA done so you can figure out how to get healthier. Garrett, what I really liked about what you said there is almost like qualifying these people that give advice for supplements. So like if you got the gym bro there, like ask them, why does it work? And if they can't give you a good answer, go to people like you, like go stop at Garrett's. Even if you're not in the area, give them a call. You know what I mean? Talk to someone who's trusted, who's been in this for a while, who's a professional at it. It's we don't qualify leads enough. We just kind of assume what's on social media and friends tell us is the right thing, and that's wrong, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, and especially today, I mean, the fitness industry is growing. I mean, overall, I mean, it's definitely growing compared to what it was, back in, the early 2000s and, in my 20s. It's definitely growing, and we just got to make sure, that everything keeps up with it,
Yeah, that's hard, man. It's, with the food industries and pharmaceuticals going against stuff, it's an uphill battle. But I'm super grateful to have met you at the gym, man, and super grateful that you're here to support this area like Shalot. It's much needed here. That's the thing. So I just want to thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Where can everyone find you physically and online?
Yep. So physically, we're here in Shalot, address 4647 Main Street, Suite 5. Shalot, North Carolina, 28470. If you're familiar with the area, we're right next door to Purple Onion, right off of Main Street. Majority of people around here know Purple Onion. You say that, they know exactly where. I got big LED sign in the window. Come on in anytime, just to talk. Show you around, show you what I got, Just have a good conversation. And then you're on Facebook, Carolina Muscle Co. Logo is the profile picture, so pretty easy to spot that. And then we got Instagram, same thing, Carolina Muscle Co. Give us a follow. I try to once a week. I do different, I try to stay on top of, meta stuff, Facebook and Instagram as much as possible, at least one post a day. But I do a lot of product highlight videos, going over individual products, what they're for, why you should get them, and what they do type of thing, And that seemed to be a pretty big hit around here. So I'll continue to do those and continue just to provide everybody with the supplementation that I can to help.
That's amazing, man. That's amazing. We got one last shout out here for our company, Bursky, the meat sticks with the packs a punch here. We're all looking for healthy snacks and alternatives, and it's really hard. Bursky provides that alternative of 100% cow beef meat stick. Now we just signed up with them as one of our sponsors. I truly believe in their product because they're high in vitamin A. They're 100% made out of cow. Even the packaging is made out of cow. So if you guys are interested in a healthy snack that's high in vitamin A, high in protein, go to Bursky.com and use code HOHW for a 15% off discount to try these snacks. They're absolutely delicious and you're supporting a small business. So go check out Bursky and use code HOHW, Health or High Water. So Garrett, thanks for coming on the show. We'll make sure to get everything posted in the copy so people can click right on your link. I'll even put a geolocation on the copy as well so people can find you that's in the area. But I just really appreciate the conversation, appreciate the friendship and camaraderie at the gym, man. We really need you around here, so appreciate it.
Absolutely. I love it. Love it.
All right, audience. Well, thank you guys so much. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, share to Health or High Water every little bit. Please give us the highest rating that you'll allow us. We need every little rating that's going to help. And now that we're on YouTube, make sure you guys are commenting and liking. We're going to have a live feed. You guys can ask questions here down the road during the podcast. So things are getting a little bit more evolved with the podcast. Make sure you guys are tuning in for season 4. This is our best season yet. And we'll see you guys on the flip side. Peace.